Hello and welcome to another edition of Barrister in a Balaclava. Today I thought we'd talk about court staff and how you should treat court staff and what their respective roles and functions are. Because when you're starting out in the law, you'll come across a variety of court officials, and how you treat them may in some part determine how your career, in the early stages at least, how your career will go. So start with the Magistrates' Court, which is the lowest of the criminal courts. When you arrive there, you'll have a long list of cases sitting or set to go in this or that magistrate's court. It's very important to make contact with the staff controlling the court to tell them that you're there. And also because the order in which you appear is determined in the following way. There can be 15 cases that day, and the court will try and shuffle them around so as to be most efficient for the court. So cases which have been disposed of by a guilty plea will be on early. Those which are requiring procedural ruling, a short order, will be on next. And those which require substantive determination, like a short trial, will be on the very end. Now, if your case has turned from being contested action to one which is agreed, or in the criminal case, a guilty plea, then tell the usher they can get you on earlier. So instead of sitting there for 4 or 5 hours until case number 19 is called on, you can be put up at number 3, be back on your way back to London or to wherever else you may be coming from. Now, in the county court, you have an usher who is the person who ushers you into court, and there's also a court clerk who resides mostly in the court and services the judge. The court usher, despite being the lowest ranking, is once again probably the most important official you'll get to know, because the court usher can pass messages to and from the court clerk and the judge himself or herself when there's been a change of play in your case. And having good relationships with them is very important because they control the court's actions for the day. So be edited out to change. So it's very important that you maintain good relationships with them and be kind, be courteous. Don't be high-handed, because word will get back to the judge that you're a bastard, and that can affect your career long-term in a very serious way. Now, in the High Court, you have the usher, again, and you have the court clerk, who sits mostly behind a desk in front of the judge. In the Court of Appeal, each judge will have their own court staff member who looks after them. So the court rises, in come 3 clerks to each judge, put the judge's papers down, they stand behind the chair, pull it back for the judge to sit down, judges come in, they hang around for a minute or two, then they disappear back to their offices. Now the court clerk of the court, who sits behind the desk in front of the judges, is the one who calls out the case when it's been called on. I'll tell you a funny story. A case I was involved in a few years ago. Without telling too much about the case, it involved an issue of employment liability. So being lawyers, this was shortened to EL. And now the commercial court has lots of foreign cases heard by the judges, lots of Panamanian tankers, Peruvian diamond cases, all the rest of it. So they're very used to having foreign language cases, or cases involving foreign named entities. So the court clerk, quite reasonably I think, saw a case called EL Trigger, but to him it sounded like, and he said it in court when he called the case on, all those in the case of El Trigger. Now, the first day, there was a bit of stifled mirth by the assembled counsel. I felt a bit bad because it was an in-joke to us, but not to him. He looked a bit bemused. Next day, same thing happened. All those in the case of El Trigger. Less stifled laughter, slight embarrassment, squirming of the buttocks on the court benches, thinking this is a bit wrong. So at lunchtime, that second day, I approached him as we went out for lunch and said, I want to tell you that the case isn't El Trigger, it's actually EL Trigger. He was very appreciative. When we came back for the 2 o'clock resumption, he stood up and grounded out the case of El Trigger. Damn, I said. I said to him again at the end of the day, it's EL Trigger, which he did from that point onwards. So it's very important to maintain good relationships with the court staff, because when you apply for silk in the 20 or so years' time, if you're a young barrister, these things do begin to count. That's all for today. Other words of wisdom to follow in due course. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe here or there in the little boxes below. Thank you. Until next time, goodbye.